Hey, you guys, let's go ahead and get started with a reading for you. I know it's been a couple of days, but I have been very, very busy. Plus, Mercury just went direct. That is my ruling planet, so sometimes I do have to disappear so that I can recalibrate my own energy and not always be there for everyone else. You guys, please do give these videos a like, a share, a subscribe. Comment, let me know how these readings resonate with you so that it can help me with the algorithm. I have been on YouTube for the last 5 years, and YouTube keeps my my followers small, and it's because a lot of people do not realize that it is a game that we have to play. So we got All Tied Up, The Garden and the Gate, and one more for the collective. Oh my God, we just got more. We've got first chakra, Archangel Michael, which is the root chakra. We've got the Angel of Balance, okay? And we have the Angel of Love. So we do have a lot of angelic protection, and we've got adjacent possibilities. So listen, there's a lot of doors that are going to be opening up for you and a lot of doors that are going to be closing, okay? We did just have that lunar full moon eclipse in Virgo not that long ago. We also have a Libra full moon that is coming up. So it's like, you know, for some of you, you're feeling like, I don't know what to do, so I'm not going to do anything, which is totally fine for right now, because a lot of people, especially because we've had Mercury and Venus, we've been in retrograde since November of last year. Like, it has been retrograde. So it's almost like we can't get anything done. It's like you think that you're moving forward, and then all of a sudden you're moving back. Some people are like, okay, well, my job isn't going anywhere, or my business isn't taking off. Like, I feel like I'm spinning my wheels. My relationship sucks, you know, and like, well, you got to get rid of things in order for new things to come in, okay? Especially when it's tied to your stability. You know, our relationships, when we're in a home that we don't feel comfortable in, our root chakra is going to be off. If we're in a job that we don't feel comfortable in, our root chakra is going to be off, because the root chakra is where we feel that safety and security. You know, it's like when you don't have a home, you know, you can hurt your knee, or, you know, something can happen with your bum, you know, like, that energy is not flowing very well. And it's like, you know, when the other branches, we can lose a few branches off the tree when it comes to the other chakras, but when your root chakra is off, everything's off. Doesn't matter how strong or stable the rest of the, you know, branches are. It just feels like everything is off. And I do feel like for a lot of people, like, we need to get back to, you know, being willing to take risk. Okay. A lot of people are not willing to take risks because they want to know what's waiting for them on the other side. So they sit here and they play it safe. If you look, she's standing back there and she's looking out upon the horizon wondering, well, what is out there? But she's, you know, too afraid. She keeps herself stuck in this situation with the all tied up, right? Well, she has the key around her neck. So at any point in time, she can take that key right off of her neck, unlock that gate, and walk out. But she chooses not to. She's choosing to stay there because it's what feels safe in this moment. But safety isn't everything. You know, you stay at a job because, you know, it pays the bills, but you hate your coworkers, you hate your life, you know, and you're going to have to bring in some sort of balance and love back into the situation. You have, with these opening of doors, it's like going towards what you want to do, not what you feel like you have to do. And I feel like for a lot of people, it was like there was a lot of like eye-opening experiences. I know that for a lot of people during these retrogrades, a lot of people have had a lot of amazing job interviews, okay, for instance. And now that Mercury's going direct, they're getting these decline letters that, hey, we chose to go elsewhere, and they had their hopes up. But it's like, then they get discouraged, and so they, you know, go back into their shell, and it's like, no, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. It's like, you know, you love the environment. Okay, so keep that feeling and that emotion, and tell the universe, okay, I really enjoyed what I did here. I thought it was a really great interview, a nice environment. So I want to have that same type of a feeling when I walk through the next door. And when you do that, instead of like, oh, well, I feel like I'm stuck with this job and nothing's ever going to happen. And it's like, no, that's not true. That's absolutely not true. Let's get some cards on the adjacent possibilities. I want to go ahead and clarify. Adjacent possibilities. Well, that card just flew out. You know what is hilarious? Right underneath the adjacent possibilities is the happy family card. We got the 10 of Cups. So the 10 of Cups is this fortune after difficulties. So for a lot of you, you've been through some difficult situations, but at the end of the day, it's almost like show gratitude. Even though this family is out in the dirt and they're looking at, it seems so close yet so far away, like maybe a home you want to buy. For some of you, it is a home, It's like maybe you put a bid on a house and it fell through or whatever, It was Venus retrograde. You're not even supposed to be investing in anything big. You're going to have regrets. So after all of that time, whether that was through jobs or through relationships, it's like the universe knows, and it's like focus on the rainbow. Focus on the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and not all of the trauma or the tribulation or the emotion that you get hung up on. People get so hung up on like and they get discouraged because, maybe it's rejection. Rejection is God's protection. Rejection is God's protection, because the next thing that is meant for you is on its way in, but it can't do that if you're the one who's sitting here not really wanting to move forward, okay? And if the universe is keeping you in a place right now, it's because there's still more that you need to learn, okay? So that you can appreciate what's coming next. But what's coming next is your stability. What do we have for the all tied up? The Fool. The Fool. Step out of your comfort zone. Okay? This is about taking a leap of faith into the unknown. It's like, and being that it's the number 23, 23 adds to a 5. 5 is all about change created by outside forces beyond your control, and there's nothing you can do about it. It can come through chaos, it can come through fear, it can come through tower moments, it can come through however it wants. Breakups, getting fired from your job. Okay. But this is because for some of you, you've been tied up into a situation that you needed to move away from. The little dog here signifies, that the divine is there to help you along the way. Like, don't be a fool, but you need to pack light. He doesn't know if he's going to fall 5 feet down or 5,000 feet down, but he's just focusing on the bright new beginnings and opening himself up. And I love how his chest is like up to the universe, like, okay. And what is that? The chest. She's also got that heart against her chest. And so it's like, thinking about what you would love. There is some type of a transformation here. The Fool. This is about new beginnings and the fortune after difficulty. And this garden in the gate is going to open you up to the place that, oh my God, the tower moment, just like I said. You can't even make this up. So this is about whatever needs to come crashing down, let it, because there is a new beginning, and it's trying to get you out of these binds, these shackles that you put yourself in. Okay? A lot of the time, we're like, we have a job that we've been there for 13 fucking years. And I say 13 because we got the number 49, and 49 is adds to a 13. Which is all about death and transformation, right? But it's like, we get all like, oh, well, I've been here for 13 years. I'll retire here and, blah, 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 and whatever. But then the tower comes in and goes, you don't get to turn a blind eye to any of the shit that's going on anymore. Okay, even in a relationship, oh, I stay because it pays the bills. Oh, I stay for the children. I stay for, because I'm too afraid to go off on my own. Because, again, it's an inner child wound of feeling abandoned. Okay, there's this abandonment wound. But it's like you need to spread your wings and fly. And the only way that's going to happen is if the universe makes you uncomfortable being 2 + 3 is 5. And then we have the tower here. The universe is like, well, I'm going to shake shit up. Maybe it's been time. Maybe your house has been trying to tell you over and over, like, it's time for you to move. Everything is calling you to a whole nother area, but you're too afraid to move. So what happens? The tower comes in, you have an electrical fire, or, you know, I mean, look at look at Lahaina, look at LA, look at, you know, floods and everything else that's coming in and all these weird weather issues. The universe is like, okay, well, you weren't listening. I said what I said. So now I'm going to send in this tower, and there's not even going to be cobwebs to clean up. So I hope you're ready to go on the journey, because not only do you not have the cobwebs, for some of you, you know, and I'm so sorry for if you've been through any of these situations, you know, I'm not trying to take it lightly, because it's not a light situation, but it was the universe trying to push you into a new place, you know, to meet new people, you know, especially for those of you who are looking for love. Well, do you even live where you want to live? And I'm not saying everybody's house is burning down, and P.S., this has already happened in the past. So it's not something you don't already know about, and I'm not making a prediction, okay? So with the, wow, we got the Knight of Cups again. So that's twice now that the Knight of Cups is showing up. With the Garden and the Gate, you're weighing up your options, okay? For some of you, it's like you've realized that, you know, things can't continue the way that they have been. Things cannot continue the way that they have been. You've been robbing Peter to pay Paul for some of you. For some of you, you've been weighing up, like, should I leave this job? Should I stay? Should I leave this job? Should I stay? Should I stay in this, you know, relationship? Should I leave? So it's like, you know, it's like juggling too many things at once. And I think you need to, some of you guys are just really afraid of dropping the ball. Okay. You're just afraid of dropping the ball. But sometimes you need to drop the ball in order to have, you know, like free hands so that you can, you know, go off footloose and fancy free. You know, you gotta, like, no victory without sacrifice with that tower situation, right? And listen, the universe isn't going to just wipe out something for no reason. And it's definitely not going to wipe something out that you didn't think was going to get wiped out. Like, you knew the red flags were there the entire fucking time. You keep fighting with your coworkers. You hate your boss. You know, this relationship, you know, whenever you get together with your friends, all you do is talk shit about your partner and how bad they are and how whatever, right? So it's like, okay, well, if you don't like where you are, change it. You know what's sexy is when you get up and you actually do something about it. And now that we have Neptune in Aries, not Neptune in Pisces, which is, you know, rose-colored glasses, this is where, you know, this is the Aries card. It's Aries and Aquarius. It's Uranus, as is the Tower. And Pluto, right? This is the great destroyer, but this is liberation. Liberation from all of these situations. You know, it's like, okay, well, do I do this? Do I do that? You know, I see him juggling over here, but Spirit is saying, like, go towards what it is that you're going to love. Not something that you're just tolerating, like, you know, with the all tied up and her sticking around in the Garden and the Gate just to play it safe. Well, I've done this my whole life. Okay. Well, we're not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy. Like, figure something else out. Like, it's time for you to do something that's completely unorthodox. You know, you're trying to do things in the old traditional fashion. Well, we're not there anymore. You know, we've gone through the evolution process, and now it's time for us to start thinking outside the box. Especially if we want to bring in stability, and whatever it is that we've been doing isn't stable. Okay? I don't care what situationship that means for you. It goes the same in no matter what direction and in all. So this is really about, you know, like, the universe is trying to align things for you, but it's really up to you to decide, like, where you're going to go next. But again, I feel like you're looking at your old ways of doing things and trying to stay within those confines. Maybe that you need to learn something else. It's like for me, you know, I was a bartender for years and years and a server. I was in the restaurant industry for over 20 years. Over 20 years. So every time I got fired, I just went and got another job at another restaurant. My boss would fuck with me. I'd stick around until finally one day I fucking blew up and walked out. And, you know, I burnt that bridge. You know, why does it always have to take us getting to that fucking point where we end up hating everybody around us? And now we're in dire fucking straits of, like, you know, now I have to be gone tomorrow. Like, you had all the fucking time in the world before it got to this point, but you ignored it. And now all of a sudden, all of a sudden, and now it has to be right. And like, you don't control time. Saturn is the controller of time, and especially if Saturn's been trying to tell you and you've been ignoring it. For those of you Pisces out there, I mean, everybody has Saturn in a different area of your chart. So, you know, if maybe it's in your relationships, maybe it's in your career, maybe it's in your identity, maybe it's in whatever. But Saturn is the great restrictor, okay? So Saturn will tell you when it's time for you to move forward. It's not when you want, it's when they want. And especially if you've been ignoring Saturn this entire time, well, then things are not going to feel very good. All right, so let's see what Archangel Michael has to say. So yeah, this did show up in the reverse. So for some of you, Archangel Michael, you know, in the upright, the Six of Swords is about moving into calmer waters, okay? For some of you, this is mentally, all right? And with Archangel Michael here, it's like, you know, for some of you, you're feeling like you got to uproot. And if you're in a toxic situation, so for some of you, this is about you getting out of those tumultuous waters, you know? And I look at, you know, the water here and the boats going up and down and, you know, up and down, and we see the ripple effect here and the clear, pristine waters here. So it's like you're almost to the end of it, but you can't see the forest through the trees. You can't, like, for some of you, it's like you're trying to, you know, paddle upstream, and like, dude, your arms are going to get tired. Like, let go of the paddles and flow. Again, flow. That's Pisces energy. It's about flowing with the universe, not trying to take control. And maybe it's time for you to reach out to Archangel Michael. Talk to Archangel Michael. Ask him to align this. When was the last time you asked your spirit guides, angels, and ancestors for help? They're standing there with their arms crossed, tapping their freaking foot going, okay, put me in, coach. I know you need help, but I can't do anything unless you ask me specifically for the help that you need. So what is this angel of balance? Because you have been at an imbalance about what do I do? You know, you're feeling like, oh God, I got too many, you know, balls in the air. I'm juggling too many things. And Spirit's like, well, you need to bring balance back into your life. So the angel of balance, the angel of love is both here, you know, and that's funny because it's the number 48 and 49. So there is a progression. We do have 23 and 24, and we have 30 and 35. So those numbers could be of significance. We also have the number 10, which is about completions that are happening, but you're going to have to stay balanced regardless. Like, you know, Archangel Michael is here to help you. So make sure you ask him. And the fact that he is showing up in today's reading says that he is exactly who you need to be talking to. Yeah, angel of balance. For some of you, this is about financial. You know, financial balance. Some of you, this is about holding on. You're holding back. You're the miser of a situation, because the Four of Pentacles is the miser. You know, it's like, well, I can't spend any money. I'm juggling. And maybe for some of you, you need to balance how you're spending. You know, and for some of you, it's like, you know, if you're not happy at your job and you find a place that is like totally conducive, you love the atmosphere, you loved the interview, you like something is calling you there, but the finances like are maybe a little less than what you are used to. Like, when you love what you do, the money will come. When you love what you do, the money will come. So for a lot of you, this is about you looking out at the future. For some of you, this is about you, you know, looking out at, like, waiting for your ships to come in. You've put something out there, and don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's why it's saying there's adjacent possibilities. There are many, many possibilities right now. And for some of you, if you can't change the situation, change the way that you're looking at the situation. Right? Change the way you're looking at it. Especially for those of you who don't want to make any changes, or for some of you who are actually like stuck in an environment or feel stuck. Again, unless somebody's got you bound and gagged in the basement, you're never stuck, you know. But for some of you, you're feeling like a prisoner of your situation. But I feel like for a lot of you, it's in your head. It's all in your head, and some of you are all up in your feels. So what does the angel of love have to say about all this? The angel of love, King of Pentacles, I saw him earlier. The King of Pentacles is all about stability. So for those of you who are looking for love, this is the I want to see the King of Pentacles. For some readers, they call him the sugar daddy. This is somebody, though, who is very invested. Like, they don't put any time, energy, or effort into something that they don't see lasting long term. Okay? And if they don't love what they're doing, or they don't love you, or if you're, Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus energy, or you're taking on this energy, this is about looking at our long-term stability. Bottom of the deck, for some of you, you're getting married. For others of you, this is about a new work environment, new office space, new home. For those of you who are looking to purchase a home, buy a home, I feel like you're going to love where you're going. You're going to feel very stable. And for others of you who have already moved, you're going to feel like you're integrating and everything is good. I definitely see somebody here proposing, and I definitely see for some of you, like, maybe you've been holding back on love. You've been holding back on love. You've been too afraid to open yourself up to love. But I'm telling you right now, I think, again, you need to change the way that you're looking at love, because for some of you, you've kept yourself all tied down, in these old thoughts and old beliefs. And, again, that's just not the case. The Archangel Michael ruling the root chakra, it rules our sexual energy. So it's like, stop giving so frivolously to people who are just going to take advantage of your energy and deplete you. If they're not going to last long term, get rid of them. We have Venus going direct on the 12th, and a lot of people are actually going to come to a wake-up call when it comes to finances and when it comes to your love relationships and relationships of all kinds. You're definitely going to get that freaking wake-up call, and for some of you, that tower is coming down. So I feel like you kind of need to just get on board with what is happening. Stop trying to dig your heels in, because I do feel like you are headed towards more security, more stability, more love in your life, and just really enjoying life as is, So I would say, come out of this like, like nothing ever works out for me. Don't get discouraged. Just get ready and be like the Fool here. Be ready to take that leap of faith when it comes, okay? For those of you who are always like, well, should I, shouldn't I, shouldn't I? You're gonna miss the boat. You're gonna miss the boat. What boat was on that 3 of Wands? And the boat, yeah, you're gonna miss the boat. Here's how I see it. There's the boat. Here's you missing it. If you're so focused on what you're not receiving, instead of focusing on, okay, cool, that wasn't my door. That wasn't my door, okay? Lots of doors. Okay, that one's closed. Let's move on to the next door. Okay, that one closed. Let's move on to the next one. The universe shows us in puzzle pieces. Were you wasting your time when you went on that job interview? No. You were exactly where you needed to be. Were you wasting your time when you put in for a loan for an office building and you got denied? No, it means you're on the right path. It's just maybe you needed to move. Maybe it's time for you to start looking in a different direction when it comes to what you do for a living. There's all kinds of opportunities. And for some of you, this is about starting your own business and being very successful. North Node in Pisces is about our creativity. It's the creatives that are going to be making the money. The ones who are doing paint, art, poetry, music, anything to do with helping others with their mental health. Psychedelic therapy, all of these things, like getting into healing modalities, spiritual healing practices. I'm not saying spirituality is hiring and not just anybody who puts on there that they're a psychic or an astrologer or a life coach. That doesn't mean that they are. So be very mindful about, being disillusioned by the people that you're following as well. But I do see stability. I see celebrations. After, what did I say? Number 49 adds to a 13. And there you go. There you have it. The death card, the transformation. For some of you, you're begging for death to come. Like, let's end this. And for others of you, you're begging for that transformation. And it is all coming for you. And look at that. You're going to be very happy, very, very happy, and receive everything it is that you want. You just don't know what's behind the curtain. And Archangel Michael is here to tell you, trust me. Trust me, you're going to love where you're headed. So just get your emotions in check, get yourself in check, you know, and just trust that we've got you. Don't hold on. Don't hold on. Okay. Oh, well, they, you know, no, doesn't matter what they did. If they said, no, we're not going to hire you, we're going to hire someone else. If they said, no, I don't want to be in a relationship with you, I want to go off on my own. It's because you're being taken to this King of Pentacles energy where you're going to be stable, you're going to love your life, and you're going to be really excited that you didn't get all hung up in all of this other shit that really doesn't even fucking matter. Anyway, you guys, love you all so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. If you are interested in a personal reading, all my information's in the description box down below. Also, if you've made it this far, please like, share, comment. Let me know how this reading resonates with you and your story. I love you guys all so very much, and we will chat again soon. Take care.